Namaskar. Continuing with our video series on the refresher training manual for execution matters for the staff in district courts at Punjab, Haryana, UT, Chandigarh. We shall be continuing with our chapter 5, which speaks with regard to process serving establishment. So, today we shall be looking into the remaining aspects of chapter 5 in part 2, that is receipts of process and deposit by the process serving agency, sheriff petty accounts, duties of civil nazir where the processes are to be served along with money, munadi fee for execution within the district or tehsil, duties of civil nazir where the processes are to be served along with money, munadi fee for execution in different tehsils within the district, duties of civil nazir where the processes are to be served along with money, munadi fee for execution in another district, and surveillance of process servers. Along with that, we shall also look into briefly the flow charts that we have appended in our refresher manual. So let me take you to the part 2 of chapter 5. Receipts of processes and deposits by the process serving agency, sheriff petty accounts. Sheriff petty accounts relate to the sums received by officers in charge of process serving establishment and intended for immediate disbursement. Volume 2, Chapter 8, Section 2, Rule 8 of Rules and Orders. Reader of the court should note the number of the case on the application involving a deposit in the sheriff petty account when presented in court. For example, an application for deposition of munadi fee in order to enable the process serving agent to make the necessary entry in the register of receipts. Applicant should tender the amount of his deposit together with the application to the civil nazir or local agent after the usual orders have been passed and recorded by the court. Civil Nazir should fill in column number 1 to 7 of the Register of Receipts, form number 1, prepare a receipt in foil and counterfoil on the prescribed form number 5, and issue the foil to the depositor as a receipt for the money deposited after it is signed by the officer in charge. Volume 2, Chapter 8, Section 3, Rule 13 of Rules and Orders. Civil Nazir should return the application to the court concerned for record after the serial number of the register of receipts has been noted on the application and the usual daily check is exercised by the officer in charge. Civil Nazir should retain the receipts of counterfoil and produce the same for audit. Volume 2, Chapter 8, Section 3, Rule 14 of Rules and Orders. So we have also given the extract of performer for form number 1, which is Wide Rule 3, Volume 2, Chapter 8, Part D. Speaking of register of receipts of sheriff petty account deposit at the agency of, here we have to fill the detail for the month of, here also we have to fill the detail. So we can see it has got 9 columns, and below that there are certain columns speaking with regard to the detail of payments. Similarly, we have also given form number 5, Wide Rule 13, Volume 2, Chapter 8, Part D, which speaks with regard to the foil and counterfoil. So we have also given that performer in our execution manual. Now coming to duties of civil nazir, where the processes are to be served along with money, munadi fees for execution within the district or tehsil. Elmother execution clerk of the concerned court should make a reference on the process of the amount deposited with civil nazir and send the process for service within the district to the local nazarat branch. Volume 2, Chapter 8, Section 3, Rule 16 of Rules and Orders. Civil nazir should arrange for the payment at the time of service of sums due to person to whom the processes were addressed on the receipt of the process from the court situated at the headquarters of district of tehsil, volume 2, chapter 8, section 3, rule 19 of rules and orders. Civil nazir should enter each process in the relevant column number 1 to 11 in the register of process received and disposed of by local agent. Form number 6 has also been provided in the volume as volume 2, chapter 8, part D. So this is the form number 6. And as we can see, it has got as many as 21 columns. Civil Nazir should give such sum to the process server together with the processes. Civil Nazir should enter the payment to process server in the appropriate column of the register of receipts against each sum. Civil Nazir should make entry of the payment in the register of disbursements form number 2 and should also take acknowledgement of receipt from the process server in column number 11. So we again have given form number 2, Wide Rule 3, Volume 2, Chapter 8, Part D, which is a register of disbursements of sheriff petty account deposit at the agency of, here we have to write the name where the agency is situated for the month of, here we have to write the particular details. We can see it has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It has got 8 columns in general, and then, for example, details of original deposit has been bifurcated into 2. Dates of present payment has again been bifurcated. So likewise, we have given this pro forma, and the requisite columns are to be filled by the Nazir. Civil Nazir should also enter the details of each sum in the process server's notebook, form number 7 in column number 1 to 5 at the time of transmitting the process. Volume 2, Chapter 8, Section 4, Rule 20 of Rules and Orders. No process server should have more than rupees 200 in hand at any given time. Volume 2, Chapter 8, Section 2, Rule 11 of Rules and Orders. So again, we have given form number 7 by Rule 20, Volume 2, Chapter 8 and Part D, which is the notebook of the concerned process server who is attached with the process serving agency. If we can see this form, it has got 12 columns, and column number 2 to 5 is to be filled up by the Nazir, and then column number 6 to 9 is to be filled up by the process server. Column number 9A to 12 is to be filled up by the Nazir again. So Civil Nazir should distribute the process to the process server as well as bailiff, as the case may be, according to the areas distributed to them. On the back of each process, Civil Nazir should affix the stamp containing date of entrustment, name of process server, manner of service, date of return, reason if any delay, reason of non-service. Civil Nazir should fill column number 1 and 2 at the time of handing over the process to the process server or bailiff. Civil Nazir should obtain signature of the process server or bailiff in the appropriate register and transmit the process to the respective process server or bailiff. At the time of the service, process server should take the receipt of the payee in column number 8 of his notebook, as well as back of the original copy of the process on which service is endorsed at the time of the payment of the money to the concerned person. For example, munadi fee to the drummer after effecting the munadi for the service of the process. Such service should be verified by one or more respectable witnesses with date and signature of process server. Volume 2, Chapter 8, Section 4, Rule 21 of Rules and Orders. Civil Nazir, after receiving of the process, should verify in case the service is effected and the money connected therewith paid to the payee, the service with the acknowledgement of payee given in the column number 8 of the process server notebook, as well as on the back of the original copy of process, submit later to the court with the usual certificate of service by filling the column number 3 to 6 on the stamp on the back of the process. Civil Nazir should complete the formalities and return the process to the concerned court with a certificate of service after filling up column number 12 and 13 of the register of processes received and disposed of by the local agent. Volume 2, Chapter 8, Section 4, Rule 22 of Rules and Orders. In case of non-service, process server should make the entry with regard to undisbursed amount in his notebook in column number 9. Civil Nazir, after receiving of the process, should make the entry of the amount undisbursed against a new number assigned in the register of receipts in case of non-service of the process. Civil Nazir should code the new number in the register of receipts against the original entry in the register of disbursements and noted in column number 10 of the process server notebook. Civil Nazir should also sign on column number 11 in acknowledgement of the money having been received back from the process server. Civil Nazir should complete the formalities and return the process to the court concerned with a certificate of non-service after filling up column number 12 and 13 of the register of processes received and disposed of by the local agent, volume 2, chapter 8, section 4, rule 23 of rules and orders. Civil Nazir at the time of returning the processes with the certificate to the concerned court should make the entry in his dispatch register and should also take the acknowledgement of receipt from the concerned Ahmed or execution clerk of the court. Ahmed or execution clerk of the court should append the process with its report on the case file. Now let us see duties of civil nazir, where the processes are to be served along with money, munadi fees for execution in different tehsils within the district. Ahmed or execution clerk of the concerned court should issue and send the process for service in different tehsils within the district to the local Nazarat branch. Civil Nazir of the local Nazarat branch should transmit the process duly endorsed with the amount, if any, which is to accompany the process by post or where absolutely necessary by messenger to the agent or civil Nazir of the tehsil within which service is to be effected after making the necessary entries in column number 1 to 11, 14 and 15 of the register of processes received and disposed of by the local agent as shown above in form number 6, volume 2, chapter 8, part D, section 5, rule 24 of rules and orders. Civil Nazir of the local Nazarat branch should make the usual entries in the register of receipts and the register of disbursement and send the amount by the postal money order to the civil Nazir concerned along with the process. The money order commission should be recovered from the party at whose instance the process is issued, and the money order should be addressed to the officer in charge of the process serving establishment in which the agent works. The said officer in charge should take delivery of the money order under his signature. It is the duty of the civil nazir to make relevant entry in the receipt column of the intermediate register. So we have also provided form number 17, Wide Rule 10, Volume 2, Chapter 8, Part E, which is the intermediate register of money orders, etc. received in the court where it was received and for the month of the details of the month as well as year. So this is the these are the columns in intermediate register which consist of basically receipt and disposal. Civil Nazir should transfer the amount received from the intermediate register to the register of receipts on the day of receipt if possible or the next morning. It is the duty of the officer in charge to oversee the same. Civil Nazir should also make relevant entry in disposal column of intermediate register. Civil Nazir should follow the same procedure as detailed above. Duties of Civil Nazir, where the processes are to be served along with money, munadi fees for execution within the district or tehsil, to cause the process to be served and the amount disbursed to the payee in the same manner as if the process had been issued by one of the courts of his own agency. Volume 2, Chapter 8, Part D, Section 5, Rule 26 of Rules and Orders. Civil Nazir, in the case of non-service of the process, should return the amount less money order commission by postal money order to the senior sub-judge officer in charge of the process serving establishment from whom it was received. Civil Nazir to whom the process is sent for service should return the same with the certificate of service or non-service as the case may be duly endorsed thereon and signed by the officer in charge to the agent from whom he received the process. The said officer in charge to whom the process was sent back should take delivery of money order under his own signature. He should also see that Civil Nazir transmits the amount from the intermediate register to register of receipts on the day of the receipt if possible or the next morning. Civil Nazir should enter such amount against a new number in the register of receipts, which number should also be quoted against the original entry in the register of disbursements, volume 2, chapter 8, part D, section 5, rule 27 of rules and orders. Civil Nazir, after receiving the process back from the Civil Nazir, whom it was sent for service, thereupon shall also fill in the relevant column number 16 to 21 of register form number 6 and should forward the process to the court which issued it. Volume 2, Chapter 8, Part D, Section 5, Rule 28 of Rules and Orders. Civil Nazir at the time of returning the process with the certificate to the concerned court should make the entry in his dispatch register and should also take the acknowledgement of receipt from the concerned helmet or execution clerk of the court. Helmet or execution clerk of the court should append the process with its report on the case file. Now let's have a look at the duties of Civil Nazir, where the processes are to be served along with money, Munadi fee for execution in another district. Helmut or execution clerk of the court should hand over the process issued by the court for service in another district to the local Nazarat branch. Civil Nazir of local Nazarat branch should make the relevant entries in the register in form number 6 as referred above and transmit the process to the senior subordinate judge of the district in which the person to be served resides. Volume 2, Chapter 8, Section 3, Rule 7 of the Rules and Orders. Civil Nazir of local Nazarat branch should transmit the process endorsed with the amount, subsistence or other expenses as noted on the original and duplicate copy of the process by postal money order to the agent or civil Nazir for the district in which service is to be effected. The cost of the postal money should be borne by the party at whose instance the process is issued. Same procedure is to be followed for the service of the process along with Munadi fee as mentioned above. Duties of civil Nazir where the processes are to be served along with money, Munadi fees for execution in different tehsils within the district for effecting the service of the process in another district. Civil Nazir of the process serving establishment after receiving the processes back from the civil Nazir to whom it was sent for service thereupon should fill in the relevant columns of register form number 6 and then forward the process to the court which issued it. Civil Nazir should make the entry in his dispatch register at the time of returning the process with the certificate to the concerned court and should also take the acknowledgement of receipt from the concerned Helmut or execution clerk of the court. Helmut or execution clerk of the court should append the process with its report on the case file. Surveillance of process servers. Diaries of process servers should be regularly checked and action should be taken against them if they are negligent in giving the prescribed percentage of personal service. Other relevant registers should also be regularly and thoroughly checked. Return of processes by the process server in time should be closely monitored and action against the delinquent be taken as per rules. Service should be effected within a reasonable time prior to the date fixed. Service affected 1 day prior to the date fixed would mean that it has been affected mechanically by sitting in the office, either through telephone or SMS or through some other messenger. Checking a process server's notebook. The process server notebook in the Court of Civil Judge Senior Division and Small Cause Court should be checked by the clerk of the court monthly, and all these notebooks should also be checked quarterly by the officer in charge and monthly by the presiding officers of the court at Tehsil headquarters. The following certificate should be recorded by the presiding officers on the notebooks. Certified that I have personally checked the accounts for the month or quarter ending dash and am satisfied that they are correct and in order. So this is all about part 2 of chapter 5. As it was stated in the beginning that we have also provided with the flow charts to understand chapter 5 more easily. So the first flow chart pertains to process serving establishment. Then the second flow chart is duties of controlling officer. Third flow chart is duties of ministerial head, civil Nazir or Naib Nazir. Then it is duties of process servers. Then it is journey of the process along with Munadi fee or any other fee from the court to the process serving establishment. Then it is procedure to be adopted by civil Nazir on receipt of process. Then it is sheriff petty accounts, receipts of process and deposits by process serving agency. Then we have duties of Nazir, where the processes are to be served along with money, Munadi fee for execution within the district or tehsil. Then we again have duties of civil Nazir, where the processes are to be served along with money, Munadi fee for execution in different tehsil within the district. Then we have the flow chart pertaining to duties of civil Nazir, where the processes are to be served Munadi fee for execution in another district. So this is all about the flow chart. And in our next video, we shall look into the excerpt of chapter 5 in Hindi. हमने अपनी ऑडियंस की सुविधा के लिए चैप्टर 5 को हिंदी में भी ट्रांसलेट करके सिंपल भाषा में बुक का एक पार्ट बनाया है. तो हम अपने अगले वीडियो में चैप्टर 5 जो नजारत ब्रांच के बारे में बात करता है उसको सिंपल और सरल भाषा में समझने की कोशिश करेंगे. तब तक के लिए नमस्कार.